Welcome to Ask Rabbit Entitled Parents, where an entitled Karen literally tries to steal a man's dog. I have some awesome stories for you today, so let's jump into it. This first post is titled, A Karen Tries to Steal One of My Dogs When a Hero Saves the Day. Backstory. So me and my neighbor have been arguing a lot recently about my car being on my driveway instead of in my garage. She says it makes the neighborhood look trashy. Now, I have a large family of dogs, and I decided to turn my garage into a workshop so I can make food bowls and dog houses without having to buy them at a store. Here's the story. So yesterday, I was going downstairs to check on the newborn pup, Poppy, when I heard the doorbell ring. When I answered, entitled mom was there with her kind toddler. As soon as I opened the door, kind toddler happily ran inside the moment he saw the puppies. I let him go because I trusted he would just pet them and stuff. We argued a lot about the driveway thing when I lost my temper and screamed at her about the garage being a workshop for my dogs. Now, I've told her this many times before, but that was the first time I've lost my cool. We stared at each other for a minute when suddenly a light bulb popped over her head. She asked with a smug face, "May I use the restroom?" I was mad at her, but it seemed like a reasonable request. I told her where it was, and she went down the hall. I went to talk to my girlfriend in the kitchen. We chatted for a while when I went to check on the dogs, which were either barking or uncomfortable, when I realized entitled mom has Poppy. I screamed to my girlfriend what was happening, and we both ran outside to see entitled mom getting into her minivan. Kind toddler was in the car, probably happily thinking that his mommy got him a new puppy. She was trying to start up the car with their door still open. Me and my girlfriend ran as fast as we could to the minivan, but we weren't fast enough. Entitled mom already started up the car in time. She took a smug glance at us, which suddenly turned into a look of surprise. I turned around to see Grizzly, the 13-year-old senior, running out the door. Him, being a golden doodle, ran much faster than I could ever dream of and jumped into the front seat right before entitled mom closed the door. For 20 seconds, all I could hear was bark, bark, bark. Entitled mom opened the door with multiple scratches on her face and kicked Grizzly in the face. When the war flashbacks came up of Grizzly as a puppy getting kicked in the face by Karen, and he bit right into entitled mom's ankle. I football tackled Grizzly so he wouldn't do more damage while my girlfriend got Poppy. In the end, me and my girlfriend have to go to court because entitled mom claimed to an officer that Grizzly attacked her for no reason and wanted to put him down. I'll make another post of what happens in court. Send your prayers. Edit. Turns out entitled mom broke 2 bones in her left ankle. Won't help in court, but Grizzly's definitely getting some extra treats. I have 3 witnesses and one of my cameras shows entitled mom not walking into the restroom. However, our conversation wasn't recorded, so I have to rely on the witnesses and my lawyer. Got camera footage of her car. It shows Grizzly well and us chasing her. The angle wasn't good enough for it to see Poppy in her arms, but I think it's good. Just found out entitled mom is charging all medical fees, $12,000, and that Grizzly gets put down. I've decided to charge $3,000. Alright guys, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys posted and let you know if OP posts any edits or updates to this story. This next post is titled, You're a writer? Great. Do my kid's homework and give her free English lessons. Mildly useful information. In my country, it's customary to live with your parents until you get married. Please don't give me crap for this. They're lovely and I adore living with them. Background. At the time of this story, I, at the time a 24-year-old female, was writing a career high. I was working for a famous in-my-country screenwriter, and we were doing projects for Netflix and Amazon. I put writing my book on hold for this. Before anyone asks, both shows went into development hell and will not be released internationally in any case. My parents and I were moving into a new fancy apartment building that has its own cafe. You cannot access the cafe unless you're a resident or have been given a pass. I was in there one day, getting coffee and chatting with some other residents while waiting for some things to be delivered. You all know what entitled dad and entitled kid means. If you thought erectile dysfunction when you read entitled dad, I wish he had it so I would not have to suffer through this ordeal. A nice couple was telling me about how much I was going to like living there and how nice everyone in the building was when in walked entitled dad with entitled kid. 8-year-old girl in tow. A cold wind blew in and my steaming cup of coffee turned tepid. Entitled dad, who I've never seen before, points at me and says, "Ink in the water, you're the famous writer." I writhed under this accusation as I was in no way famous and had no idea who this lunatic pointing at me was. The couple backed away and entitled kid runs at me and hugs my legs. Thrown off balance, I dropped my coffee onto my foot, which turned back into scalding the moment it touched my foot. Howling in pain, I hobbled to a sofa and sat down as the staff scrambled to get me some ice. Entitled Kid still had a death grip on me, and I had to pry her off. The nice couple was handing me napkins when Entitled Dad plowed through them and pointed at me again. "Ink in the water. You look just like your mom. I met her in the lobby and she told me you're a writer and that you were in here. This is my kid, Miss Kleptomaniac." Entitled Kid was now setting down her backpack next to me. "I'm sorry, I have no idea who you are." "I'm Mr. Butthead. Since you're a writer, you can do Entitled Kid's homework for her. And give me your number so I can set up a time for you to do English lessons every day." This is about when I thought I was having a stroke. I'm a teacher now? Is this kid opening up a textbook? I said, "I think you have the wrong person. I don't teach." "I know, but you can start now. It's our duty to teach the youth. So I'll just pick Entitled Kid up in about an hour, okay? I actually have to run. I'll get your number from your mom." And he walked out. Walked out, leaving me with this loud, belligerent girl who insisted on going through my purse. She then proceeded to shove her homework at me and demand that I do it while she played on her iPad. Spinning with pain and confusion, I pried my purse away from Entitled Kid, who immediately began to scream. I hobbled out of there, wincing, while Entitled Kid stayed inside and demanded that the staff give her cookies. I made it to the lobby where Entitled Dad was terrorizing others. He looks at me and apparently loses what was left of his fragile mind. "What are you doing here? I told you to finish Entitled Kid's homework. Did you leave her alone in the cafe?" I said, "Yeah, that's not my job, and yes, I did. I need to get something on my foot. You can go get her." Entitled Dad proceeds to bar my way to the elevator and demands that I wait until he gets Entitled Kid so we can all go up to my apartment and I can do her homework there. This is where I kind of lost it. I yelled for security and they came running, took one look at me leaning against the wall in pain, and escorted me into the elevator. Entitled Dad was yelling at me the whole time, saying he would be up there soon. So here's where it gets worse. In the elevator, security informed me that he was a realtor and not a resident. He would not be allowed up to my apartment after what I told them. Upstairs, my parents were horrified and my mother apologized for telling anyone what I did. Apparently, he told her and some others that he was a resident. Entitled Dad cornered her in the lobby later and demanded my number. She gave him a piece of her mind, told him I was injured, and told him that his foot would be somewhere unpleasant if he or his kid ever approached me again. He backed down, but told her I should be more understanding because Ink in the Water is old enough to get married and have her own children. Who stays unmarried at 24? She had him escorted off the premises. He is now banned entry for harassing residents. Entitled Kid stole what she thought were mints from my purse. They were herbal laxatives. Crappy treats for little freaks. Alright, this next post is titled, "Either you give us grandchildren or we're taking you off our will." This title sounds bad, but the story is even worse. I never thought I would be writing a post about my own parents here, but here we are, right? For context, my fiance and I have been in a relationship for the past 10 years and just recently got engaged. While it's understandable that 10 years might sound a bit too much, we started dating really early and getting married was not a priority for either of us. We actually preferred to focus on our studies and career for a while. She's a civil engineer and I'm a medical student after getting a bachelor's and master's. I do freelancing as a developer to pay for my living expenses. As we've been a couple for a long time, it's quite common for people to ask us when we're getting married and when we're having kids. While we are getting married as soon as I finish med school, we've decided not to have children a long time ago, and we're still very certain of that decision as both of us are more career than family oriented. However, since the engagement, our families have started to put more pressure on us to get married soon and have children, even though we've told them plenty of times that's not going to happen. My fiance and I live together and we're completely independent from our families financially. Some time ago, during a video chat, we ended up getting into a heated argument with our families for finally snapping at their ceaseless nagging for grandchildren, and we have been strained ever since. Now, our families asked us to meet them for lunch in family at my parents' house. We don't live in the same city, but it's close enough that we can go there for something like this, and that's when the following situation transpired. We arrived early enough to help out in preparing everything for lunch, and for the next hour or so, things were pretty alright. But after we had had lunch, we sat down at the coffee table to chat. It's customary here. The room got visibly tense. Our parents, both hers and mine, started a speech about how much they put into us, how much they worked for us, and how much family means to them. I was already sensing some crappy thing coming, but I kept listening. Suddenly, they said that during one of their talks, they came to a decision that if my fiance and I didn't give them grandchildren, after all they had done for us, we would be cut out of their wills. Their reasoning was this. 1. My brother is a gay man, and as of now, he has no intention of adopting or any alternative to have children. And I was the only option of continuing the family. He was not there and is as mortified as I am. 2. She's the oldest sister. Her younger sister is still in high school and thus must set example of having a family and continuing the family. Now, if that's not psychotic, I have no clue what is. We quickly looked between ourselves and immediately left the house. We haven't spoken to them since, but as far as we are aware, we're disowned by now. I never thought I would have to go through that just because I don't want to have children, but it just shows how much entitlement they think they have. Cheers. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap up today's Entitled Parents video. I hope you guys enjoyed those 3 stories today. If you did, please drop a comment down below letting me know which one was your favorite story. Hit subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future content. And go ahead and hit that like button for me. It really does help the video out. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.